Vengo con la luna, cuando la luz viene con el sol. Mi pensamiento afuera para ver mi propio cielo. Siento mi alma fugarse y quedarse en todo. De las plantas a las estrellas, así estoy con la tierra.
I was on a journey with two friends of mine in South America, and one morning we were walking out in the sunrise, and I looked at the ocean and the sun was rising, and at that moment I felt that I was showered with light, and I felt a loving presence, that it was like a remembrance, and it felt like light filled my being again, and all this darkness was lifted. And I had this question, like, but who am I? How can I be sad if I don't even know who I am? How can I feel depressed and meaningless if I don't even know the meaning? And I realized for the first time, maybe I can find out. Like, maybe I can actually find out. And all of a sudden, I remember after that looking at people, and I just felt that they were in their thoughts, their worlds, their ways of being, but no one was here, like present, questioning ourselves, like, what are we doing? Who are we? What are we capable of? And that brought me to ayahuasca. When I came, I was 20, and I'm 20, I'm becoming an adult, and I don't know what to do in life, and I have no idea of really what I would want or what feels truthful for me, and I feel a sense of meaningless, and I feel that I want to discover something new. I want to find a direction, and I came there I felt like a young 20-year-old that was just searching, like, in my egoic sense, what will I become? What should I do? What should I do to fulfill myself? And then in the ceremony I experienced myself dying a million times, being reborn, and how the idea of me was just vanishing, like vanishing in the endlessness of the universe, which was really frightening, but really beautiful too. And after that, the whole like vision and perspective had changed a lot, and I came out of the ceremony and I felt that I had got a bit more than what I asked for, and it was really hard to understand how to integrate that into life. But yeah, it was that. Then I went home and I had a crisis, a really big crisis. I tried to hold on to everything that I was believing that made me happy. I thought that I was living a very happy life, but obviously I wasn't, because I felt meaninglessness and depression, but I was living the life that I wanted otherwise ones to see, and I felt proud of my life and all these things, and I tried to hold on to it, but everything was just falling apart. I also don't come from a spiritual background, or I've always asked myself what's the meaning of life, but more in a philosophical sense. but never realized that one could actually find out, like, or seek to find out. So no, I didn't know anything about it. It was really mystical for me, and frightening that I was just going to a strange place in the jungle, drinking some jungle herb. So I had no idea. I thought that I would drink the herb and maybe there would be like candles lit and there would be spirits in the middle of the of the room speaking to me and telling me what to do in life. And when the session started and I had drank the ayahuasca and my whole reality changed like this, I remember I was just like, oh shit, this was quite more intense than I thought that it would be. And in the beginning I saw how everything was just transformed into a green energetic lotus flower, and I was sitting in there, and how my body was a temple, and there was elves coming to me giggling, telling me to leave my body, and they were like, hey, this is the first time she's here, we're gonna have so much fun. And I was just like, I'm not sure about that. And they asked me to come out of my body, and then I found myself here and I was looking up on my body and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I took a step out and I went on a journey. It's been quite a journey to untangle all that. It's really hard because things are so deep rooted. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I think the more I do it, the more I realize that there's so much left to do. And that really I know nothing, but it's an incredible, fascinating journey. And before all of this happened, I was working as a model, a photo model, and I had done that since I was 16, more or less. I moved from Sweden, from Stockholm, my hometown, to Paris when I was 18, and I continued to work there, modeling. I had a fiance that was also working, and I think he still is, as a model. And we were pretty successful. We had a lot of money. We had a lot of free time. We had a lot of time to party and drink and write poetry and dream about what we would do in the future. That was very beautiful in its own way, but after a while it just felt so meaningless. It was like I was searching for something more, and also there was so much stress and pressure from the model industry of being skinny, and every day you went somewhere and you were so judged by your look, and I saw how that affected my mind so much, and all this pressure of, maybe I feel that I've lived very extremely, all this pressure of having to be someone, having to be beautiful, having to be skinny, having to be successful, and I tried to sustain all that, and it became so much contraction, and it just wasn't possible anymore. I was very frightened. Before I was frightened of the unknown. I was very frightened of other people in a way. I felt that I was really dependent on other people liking me. I still am. That's maybe one of the most deep-rooted fears, but at least I'm aware of it, and I try to just let it go. And also the ability to not be so dramatic, to take everything with a bit of humor. And mainly there's a feeling of being much more home in myself, in much more acceptance and peace, and just also joy, and just seeing so much more beauty around, and the beauty of the wind, the beauty of nature. One of the most beautiful things with doing this, for example, is in an ayahuasca session, or a person that has gone through a shamanic diet alone in the jungle, and all of a sudden there's this feeling of awakening, like a soul awakening, and being like, that's the most beautiful thing, because it's so much joy in that, and yeah.
Abreva mi alma, tierra, tierra, tierra. Abreva mi alma, oigo un viento de fuego que habla. Abreva mi alma, tierra, tierra, tierra. Abreva mi alma, soy un parte de todo, estoy hecha con vida.